It's raining here.
It is. It just finished raining over here. Well, we are live now. My name is Hetal Doshi. I'm an organizational psychologist and the CEO of OSAIC. As part of our ongoing community building effort to support the mental well-being of all of us over here during this amazing pandemic. I have called upon some experts and everyday heroes just like you and I. And together with me today is, all the way from Singapore, is Mr. Faizal Tan, who is the VP of How Mart Private Limited, which runs a full halal supermarket. And this is in Singapore, where it is not a predominantly Muslim culture. Presently, there are 16 HAO or How Halal hubs. And you've also got a chain of over 46 outlets under How Mega Mart. And I was introduced to you by a very close friend of mine and a childhood friend of mine actually in school, Ashura. So I'm really grateful for the connection. And she was also explaining to me, and we've just earlier spoken, that you've gone through a huge amount of highs and lows in your career, specifically in the halal business in Singapore. Ronnie, would you care to introduce yourself a little bit before we go forward?
Sure, thanks. Thanks for bringing me live. This is a huge opportunity for me to reach out, and I have been always sharing with a lot of people who are in the business or going to start a business, because many times what people are looking at is a very glamorous side, but people can hear where is the hidden part, where the pain and the sweat are there. Yeah. So my name is Ronnie Faizal Tan. I'm 52 years old now, and I have been a Muslim since at the age of 17.
Right. Okay. That must be another interesting story as well for another day. Ronnie, can you? Sorry, I should call you Faizal. You prefer Faizal, right?
It's okay. Both is fine.
Yeah. Faizal, so could you just share? We were specifically talking about you rising in the halal food business, you experiencing a crash, and then rising back up again. Could you tell us what happened?
I think in any business, we need three factors. Number one is, of course, the good business idea. Number two is to have a good teamwork. And number three, most important, is to have a good cash flow. So we are running the business for the halal supermarket. There are huge opportunities in the global, especially that the minority Muslim country, such as like Philippines, in Japan, and of course in Singapore. People want to have a choice of international global halal food. Food actually bring everybody closer. So imagine we have bajang, which is rice dumpling halal in Singapore. We have Chinese sausage in halal. Yeah, we have Japanese miso paste in halal. We have also this gochujang Korean sauce in halal. So this gave the chef, especially in the Horeca, other choice that way they can produce halal cuisine to their customers, to consumers, as well as the consumer locally, and also the global market, even in Brunei. They are also very keen to look at what we have brought in during those times. Yes. But nevertheless, there's a lot of challenges setting up the halal business, especially the supermarket, because you need to have a huge cash flow. And also, what we talk about retail is detail. You need to be very detailed in your business. So we are very careful with all the expenses. So we started out in 2013 in having the idea to start out with halal supermarket. But together, the halal product has been a huge challenge during those times. So what are the challenges like? For example, getting the common products where these products are selling everywhere is a must, because the branding is already drilled into the consumer mind. So you don't be thinking that you want to sell a hot chocolate a unique brand other than Milo or Ovaltine.
Mhm.
So people will still want to
Right,
go for the brand.
right.
Yeah. So despite whether this hot chocolate is how popular in that country or in
Mhm.
how the prices, how attractive the prices will be, consumers
Mhm.
still want to have their brand.
Right.
So
Okay. So your challenge was to try to create brand awareness for your products when people already had a preference for a certain brand. Is that correct?
yeah, during those time, we have a principle in mind that we want to help or we want to partner with the SME to grow them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but nevertheless, the SMEs, they are small. They are also having a lot of challenges themselves. What are the
Mm-hmm.
challenges? Basically, their capitals are tight. So when they supply you the products, they want to get their money back instantly. But however,
Mm-hmm.
they also have limited fund for marketing.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
always thought that their brand, they have built on the brand, is selling very well in that country, will sell well in Singapore, but that's totally wrong. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
we
Okay.
did that. Yeah.
Right.
We did,
So
this,
I'm trying to understand. So basically, you are headquartered and only running in Singapore. Is that correct?
this is
Right, and you're getting a lot of these international products that to be sold in Singapore. And what you're trying to say is that we have a preference for international brands, which
yes.
we are familiar with, that we grew up with, but we don't have that awareness for SME related brands or brands that do not have the presence that we desire. And
Yeah.
you're also trying to say that these brands come from SMEs, and SMEs may not have the capacity to be able to create that level of brand awareness. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Right.
So
Okay.
we work with many countries' governments agencies.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, as example, in Malaysia, we work with Matre.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In Korea, we work with Kotra.
Mm-hmm.
All this that the partners, I mean the government's agencies, always wanted to help their SME to export.
Mm-hmm.
So they will give grants, some, right? Some will give marketing funds for us to market the products. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, basically Singapore as a strategic location in Asia is a hub. Is a hub for buyers to be here to buy products easily. So
Right.
that's our idea. That's why we call that the Halal Hub in Singapore. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
That's a very smart thing to be doing. So you were saying the challenges was one, penetrating the brand. Another, what are two or three other challenges that you have
Yeah,
specifically?
next thing, definitely to have a supermarket space, retail space is very expensive in Singapore. You
Mm,
cannot afford to fail. You cannot afford to really depend on just walk-in customers. So there are
mm,
many angles that you need to look into. For example, you might be wanting to have a wholesale department. You wanted to have an e-commerce department.
mm,
We wanted to have
mm,
an export department to sustain the business, which we did.
mm,
But however, the challenges and the outreach, or so-called from the e-commerce and also the wholesale, is
mm.
not as easy as what we thought.
Right. Okay. That's quite interesting. And any other challenges apart from the likability of the brand, and then also setting up diverse platforms, which is your brick and mortar, your e-commerce, your wholesale.
Yeah, wholesale,
What
yes.
other challenges did you have?
Basically, we have experience of
Mm,
the non because it's in Singapore is built up. The Muslim community is mostly built up by the Malay here,
mm,
but we
mm,
also have a large group of converts, just like myself. Yeah.
mm,
So basically, when we have the supermarket of the words halal,
mm,
consumers, some of the consumer maybe I suspect they might be non-Muslim, would
mm,
look to the word of halal.
mm,
So they just look at the shop brand, they just turn away. Yeah,
mm,
they want
mm.
to. Yeah. The second challenge is that they expect the consumer, especially the non-Muslim, when they enter to the halal supermarket, which
Mhm.
we have a lot of awareness to talk about what is halal. Why you cannot take pork. Why you
Mm,
cannot have more this kind of messages, but
Mm-hmm.
somehow they will find the products, especially because the taste are totally different for the traditional or generic outlets compared to halal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It takes time, but however, it attracted a large pool of customers, especially I believe they are non-Muslim, to really enjoy and appreciate the halal certified products.
Ah, right. Okay, that's really interesting. So, what was your intention with this business, Faisal?
Oh, during this, when I decided to set up this business, my intention is to bring good halal products to the people, to the community. Yeah,
Mm,
that
right.
is my main intention. Yeah,
Because there wasn't.
sorry.
Because there wasn't. Did you feel that there wasn't enough good halal products in Singapore?
Uh, there are, but as a as a as a convert myself, uh,
Mm,
I want to have my Chinese halal products, Chinese halal food.
mm,
I want to enjoy Japanese halal food as well
mm,
as Korean, but it's not easy to find. Not easy to find. So during the time that now with the halal hub set up, we have all the ingredients coming in from various countries, and these are all happening now.
mm.
Yeah,
Very interesting. I wish there was someone doing this for the vegetarian market because I'm vegetarian as well. And, I love my Chinese food. I love my Japanese food. But, it would be great if there was a hub that was doing something like this for the vegetarians as well. Who knows, Faisal? Maybe you can branch out and have another target group like myself, the
yeah,
vegetarians and vegans.
yes,
So, what did you not expect when you decided to go into a commercial space like this? Because I'm not sure about your background, but
yeah.
when you decided to go into a commercial space like this, in a retail space,
Mhm.
what did you not expect? What was something that totally was left field?
Yeah,
You said, "Oh my God, this is something I really didn't expect to happen."
I think as every startup, every penny we spend, we have to really think many times. So we
Mm,
will always find a cheaper rental space to begin.
mm,
So when we started, we thought that we can do this in the industrial area, commercial area.
mm,
Yeah, but when we started about another 2 3 months, so we were stopped by the authority that
mm,
this retail business can be in the industrial area. They have
mm,
to be in the commercial place where
mm.
rental is at least 5 times more than the industry. So that's why I say that being a startup in any business, the cost factor of rental and also the labor, uh, the killing parts. So,
Right. Yeah. I think what you have said is really true. The idea of running something like this is very romantic,
mhm,
but as you say, retail is detail, and there's a lot of thoughtfulness that you need to have from every cent that you spend, all the way to the location, to the products, to the target market, to the preferences, the whims and fancy of customers today. So there's a lot to think about. When did things fail? When did things start to fail?
that was in 2018, in the month of August, where we have difficulties in paying the rental.
Mm,
During those times that we were in the east, so we tried to negotiate with the landlord, saying
mm,
that Hari Raya Haji is coming. Right.
mm,
Let's go through this, and we are able to get some sales to pay back the rental. And of course,
mm,
those times we were having a 3 months deposit, so we were in 2 months area. So
mm,
landlord has been very lenient, very lenient. But unfortunately, what I knew is that there's a new management taking over
mm,
the landlord. So in order to do that, they have no any lenient uh,
mm,
rent in the 2 months area. So what they
mm,
did was that to seal the supermarket, that we cannot enter the supermarket. So we pleaded to them that we have a lot of fresh products inside that we need
mm,
to withdraw, or at least to return to the supplier and things like that. But
mm,
reluctant to. So things were spoiled. We cannot return the products.
Mm.
The news spreaded very fast, and as a result, because that is the only outlet we have, there is no chance that we are able to revive from there. Yeah, so
Mm.
instant death. I can put it this way. Yeah,
Sorry?
it's an instant death. I put it this way.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were locked out of the premise.
Yes, yes, we were. Yeah.
No mercy, huh?
No mercy. Yeah.
And
It's a very different situation right now. Now, especially the COVID-19 is totally different. Yeah, but that was maybe that was I believe the wrong time and the wrong place because of the new management taking over. Yeah.
And what was life like, Ronnie? Because Faisal, sorry, you were saying a couple of things here, which you know, uh, one of the things that you said is everybody knew about it very quickly. And there is that, the nagging feeling on top of on one hand, it is the business that is a challenge. On the other hand, it is the noise from people or the community, and the public awareness of what had happened as well. What was
Yes.
life like for you when this happened to you?
I
When this
think
instant death occurred, what was life like?
being the one and only halal supermarket, the biggest one in Singapore, the limelight has spreaded globally. Everywhere heard about this halal supermarket. So basically, when the only supermarket has closed, there are a few things that we need to answer. First, definitely will be the supplier, right? Secondly, will definitely be the community. Yeah, because a lot of the hopes and how the communities are looking at this halal supermarket now closed. So when we talk about there's huge opportunity in the halal industries, but why this is happening? Yeah. So that was the very downtime I went through. Yeah, but like what I say, um, being having the experience in the halal supermarket, uh, I was actually headhunted to join Halma to start the halal sections for them. Yeah,
Sorry, what was this?
this I was saying that in after the supermarket was closed, then
Mhm.
after that I was headhunted to Halma to start up the halal sections. Yeah,
I see.
yes.
Okay, and what is that? What is Halma?
Halma is a chain of mini marts and supermarkets. Yeah,
Ah,
then we have a new banner called the How Halal Hub. Yeah.
I
So
see.
Halal is having all the generic products with halal,
Right.
non. Yeah. So when we talk about
So
non-halal,
you had gone from being an entrepreneur to having to be employed again. Is that what you're trying to say?
yes, yes, yes.
What was life like for you?
I think
What happened to you as a human being, as a person who probably has a family? What was life like? Sleep, eat, um, anxiety. I'm not sure. What was life like when you were going through that?
I think it is very different from an employer and employee. Employer, you need to worry about rental, you need to worry about CPF, you need to worry about salary. You know,
Mm,
everything you have to do it. Yeah, as
mm,
an employee, it's totally different. I think at least you have your weekend.
yeah.
At least you have your
Well,
weekend.
hopefully.
But nevertheless, I think what I did was to put down my ego, put down my,
Mm,
and, you have to tell yourself that this is the realistic thing that I need to face. Yeah,
mm,
and you have to take it very positively.
mm.
Otherwise, there's no point keep thinking at the past. It's
Right.
already over. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
But the truth is also that there is a space and a phase of time where you are not able to let go of your ego or your pride. There is a time where you are not able to be positive.
yes.
What were three, maybe one or two or three differences in Faisal Tan when he was in a dark space?
Mm-hmm.
What did Faisal look like in that dark hole?
Okay, I think that relates a lot to my belief in the religion.
Mm,
Yeah, so at that point of time, I think not only me, but many of the failed Muslim entrepreneurs, they will only have a place to hide. That
mm,
is in the mosque. Yeah,
mm,
that's in the mosque. So you cannot be hiding at home because you don't want your family to get worried. Yeah,
mm,
you cannot be talking to your friend because none is able to help. Yeah, none is able to help you. Yeah, because
and you said, sorry, go ahead, please. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. So for me myself, I can consider myself as one of a very lucky uh, person that I was hiding myself in the mosque. Honestly, during those times, try to avoid taking a
Mm,
phone call because all the phone calls coming, uh, to ask you, so how you going to pay us, things like that,
mm,
Then practically you cannot don't answer. You have to answer. You have to face it.
mm,
So at that time, for my religion, uh, in the mosque, I just hope that tomorrow will never come. I just hope that everything is a dream. You know, and but when the next morning when you wake up, you know that is where you are now. You're not
mm,
you cannot be cheating yourself to say that's not true. You have to face it. Yeah, you just have to write with it. Yeah.
mm,
So during my religion, in the mosque, I met a volunteer who I call him Uncle Rahim. So Uncle Rahim, I don't know him, he don't know me, but he was talking to me, and because he knew that I was in a very difficult moment,
mm.
so he taught me something that I had never thought about it. So he told me that to start zikir, and I don't know whether you know what is zikir. Zikir is to
Sorry?
keep zikir. Zikir.
Zikir, Zikir.
Zikr, yes, that's right.
Yes, I've heard of it before.
So zikir basically is where you keep
Mm,
reciting. There's only one God. Very simple
mm,
reciting, and
mm,
and things instantly change.
mm.
That
Is
there's a
a zikir like a prayer?
it is like a prayer, yes, but it's a very simple prayer. Yeah.
Mm, mm.
So
Yeah.
basically you can zikir anywhere, anytime,
It's like a chant, is it? Like a
something like
something,
this. But
something
however,
like.
this is something that I always shared with a lot of people
Mm,
because I believe many of us have our own challenges, whether is it a family, whether is it in our love life, or whether is it in our career, you know. So I always chat with my Muslim brothers and sisters that you have to start zikir. You will feel the difference. Yeah.
he taught you. So a couple of things. You said that you were hiding in the mosque. What do you mean by that? Were you living there? Were you running away from people? How
No, no,
long
no.
were you there for before you started to
I think
not
I
hide
think
anymore?
yeah. In the morning, I will wake up definitely. You can't be eating anything. Basically, everything is tasteless. Your stomach
Mm,
is always full. Yeah.
mm,
So when I say was is hiding in the mosque means to say that in the morning I wake up, I will go to the mosque,
mm,
right? Then I'll be keep. I've been always been thinking, hey, how to salvage this situation?
mm, mm,
How can I get out for this?
mm,
Yeah. Why am I putting into this test?
mm,
Yeah, all this kind of question coming in. I think this is not only me experience this. I believe
mm,
many of the entrepreneurs has faced this. There's a lot of pain, a lot of tears in them. Only thing that
mm,
many people are seeing the glamorous side of them.
mm, mm.
Don't cry. Yeah.
No, no, no. My profession. I'm not allowed to cry, but I have cried once or twice before, but I'm not allowed to cry because this is your story. And I think it's just quite Interesting. How long would you spend at the mosque?
I honestly spent about almost a month. That's why I say I'm a very lucky person that within a month I have a job offered in Halma.
You
Yeah.
spent a whole month in the mosque, like every day for how many hours?
If you have nowhere to go at the, you don't know where you want to go. And if I honestly tell you, you've been driving, right, you will don't know where you are driving, and it's too dangerous for myself and also to the pedestrian, yeah,
Mm.
yeah, or other drivers. So who you want to talk to? Yeah, the only person that during those time when I was in my most downtime, the
Mm.
closest is definitely only my own family.
Mm.
My own family.
And even with your own family, it was very difficult to talk because it's your family, I guess.
Yeah, you can't be sharing everything. You don't want them to get worried for you.
Mm.
But
Right.
I can just say that when you're down, your friends, your closest, uh, I think I don't want to say that, are not there anymore for you.
Mm.
Anyway,
Yeah, I'm sorry to go back to that, but I mean, I guess the reason why we're here today is also because you rose back again, and we will definitely continue with that story.
yeah,
And that's the thing I love about stories. I love about human experiences because it's literally like chapters, and until you don't, like you say, you don't go through it, you don't face it, you don't
correct,
get the next chapter. So
correct.
again, those of you who are tuning in, I am speaking with Faizal Tan, who is the VP of Halmart, a full-fledged halal supermarket with about 46 outlets. He's just talking about the toughest time in his life where his supermarket um, was kind of locked up before his eyes, and his business and himself experienced an instant death, and how he spent and sought refuge in a mosque. And it was during this time that he was introduced to a zikir, a prayer of sorts, where with the constant chanting of it, and after a period of a full month where he was avoiding even family or friends, he was able to get his next opportunity as well. Um, how did you get the next opportunity? How did it happen?
I think as for myself, I have been an entrepreneur. I have a sense of smelling business. Yeah, the only thing what I lack of is opportunity. I put it this
Mm,
way. So what I see, there's a huge opportunity in the halal industry. There's still a big opportunities. Where
mm,
whether
mm,
how anybody who want to
mm,
embark on this journey. Yeah.
mm,
So as what I mentioned, it's a continuity on
mm,
how to make it this legend to continue.
mm,
Yeah.
mm,
So I still believe that there's a huge demand of
mm.
halal ingredients, halal food, in the especially in Singapore.
Mm, right. And today you are fully employed since that day?
Yes, yes.
Yes, and you've been obviously growing back. What would you say are the top two things that has helped you the most to recover in these
Mm,
times, apart from meeting Mr. Rahim or J. Rahim?
yes.
What was maybe one other thing? And of course, seeking refuge in religion and in God. What else is one more thing that really helped you?
I think basically last time was my business.
Mm,
This time I'm employed for how much, but my vision continues
mm,
to have this chain of outlets in the industries, which that happened.
mm,
And I'm very happy to remind myself that whether I have more or I have less, I
mm,
learn to appreciate and always say it's enough.
mm,
Thank God for giving me that. Yeah, yeah.
mm.
Because if I never
Yeah,
had,
because essentially,
uh,
you are doing what you were doing before.
correct,
It's just that now you are either partnering and or supporting. But
correct,
I love what you're saying. the business was your savior, but actually it's your vision that has saved you. That continuing belief in this magnanimous opportunity that exists, it helped you to come out of it.
Correct.
Right. And when we look at the word men and mental health, or men and failure, how do you feel? What comes to mind when you hear these things?
I think that's why I say without a good mental, all right, every day you will be living in the past. That will affect your health badly. Yeah. So I always put it in this way that we have to be having a very positive mindset. That every day we look forward to go back to work. Every day we look forward for new challenges. Then we have a better health to take on these challenges.
That's true. Yeah, and it's great that, I think some of us, we are quite lucky that we are born into, because, we learn these things from our parents, or we learn these things from other people. Entrepreneurs learn from other people that failure is inevitable at some point or the other, and we are lucky that we are able to be exposed to it. But not everybody is, and I guess what you're trying to say is that it is important to have that mental training and that mental capacity to stop looking at the past, stop having that experience of regrets, and building on something where it excites you for the future as well.
Yes.
Do you think men have it harder?
Men have it harder, you mean?
When it comes to failure, when it comes to crashing, when it comes to being, having that space to be able to talk about these things that are upsetting us emotionally. Do you think men have it worse, or men have it better, or that there's no difference?
I believe in this world now, they are equal. They are equal. It depends on how this person, their visions, and how much hard work they have put in, whether it's a lady or whether it's a man. And when it falls, it hurts. But all of us have our challenges. So I don't want to comment whether men will take it harder or the ladies will suffer more. Yes, but I respect all entrepreneurs because, like what I say, what we are seeing when they are receiving the entrepreneur awards, these are all the limelight, the glamorous part. But on the other side, how they suffer, how they cry, how the pain they have gone through, how they have sacrificed the time spending with their loved one, their families. That is where I kudos to them. Yeah.
Right. This is so heartwarming. Faisal, I didn't know you 30 minutes ago, and I feel such a huge connection to your story. I'm so grateful for it. Honestly, 30 minutes ago, Faisal Tan was just two names or one name with two different aspects to it, and I just knew your title. But my goodness, thank you so much for sharing your story. What is life like today for you, Faisal? I know there was a time where you were seeking refuge in a mosque. You were avoiding as many calls as possible. You were avoiding everything. You managed to get some opportunities after that. What is life like for you today? How would you describe life today?
I think compared in 2018, life is very different from now and then. All right, you cannot be enjoying things like what you had before. Right, and to me, that I appreciate of I went through what I went through, the failure side, which actually made me realize that I should learn to say it's enough. When I should if I have done that, without aggressive vision, I might save myself from falling. So today, whatever I have, whether in my wallet or in my food on the table, I appreciate. I really thank God that I have enough. Yes.
This is so timely. I'm so grateful for what you have shared. That is really very, very profound. And I'm not sure if there's anybody else listening. I know that 6 p.m. is a bit of a tough time, and I know it's also in Malaysia right now. Of course, a lot of us would be, getting ready to buka puasa as well. At the very least, you've impacted one person. Honestly, Faizal, thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you have any advice for any of our friends who are struggling and who may also be having a business right now that is heavily challenged or maybe even going into potential bankruptcy?
Yeah, I think wherever you are, whatever you need to be face it, ride it through. No point keep holding on. COVID-19 crisis has actually put everybody to a reset button. So in this crisis, we see a lot of pain, but there will be a lot of opportunities coming too. So get yourself ready, because the moment when the crisis is over, everything is going to bounce back. Yeah. So in every crisis, there's always a good opportunity. So don't take it negatively, and always learn to say enough. And because why I say that, we always compare to people above us, but we have not actually looked at people below us. Then you will realize how appreciate where you are. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Faizal. I'm so honored to have had you here. That was really profound for me. I am incredibly grateful again. God bless.
Thank you.
And look at life for you today. Supermarket business is essential business. Everybody is, super happy at any chance to run to a supermarket more than anything else.
Yes.
I wish you all the very best. Please stay connected. If there's any way that I can support you, please let me know as well.
Thank you, everybody, for watching this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hector, for letting me to share with all the audiences. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I will definitely share this with as many business people as possible.
Thanks. Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye. Bye.